Hi, I'm Jordan Crook with TechCrunch, and today we're looking at the Droid 4 by Motorola. This is the fourth iteration of Motorola's Droid brand. The three models before it looked quite a bit alike, but this actually deviates a lot in design, and it also packs 4G LTE courtesy of Verizon. The Droid 4 measures 2.8 inches wide, 5 inches tall, and is half an inch thick, and it weighs 179 grams. It's pretty similar in size to its predecessors, but it looks way more like the Razr or the Razr Max than its other Droid brethren. It's got a metal bezel, tapered edges, and a textured plastic back panel. Even at half an inch, this is the thinnest 4G QWERTY we've seen to date. Still, it can't really compete with the Razr or the Galaxy S2 or the iPhone 4S. But I am really digging this back panel. Usually plastic has a real cheap feeling to it, but combined with the tapered edges and the weight of the phone, this plastic battery cover actually feels quite premium in the hand. A 3.5mm headphone jack sits on the top left. The lock button is square on the top of the phone, while the volume rocker is on the top of the right-hand edge. The battery door on this phone is removable with this special key-type tool to let you get to your SIM, but oddly, the battery itself cannot be removed. You'll find a micro SD card slot that can hold up to 32 gigabytes of extra memory back there, along with 1 gigabyte of RAM under the hood. The Droid 4 has a 4-inch 960 by 540 LCD display. This brings it in to be a bit smaller than most of the phones we're seeing out today, like the Razr and the Nexus, but it almost feels like 4 inches is the size we should have stopped at. Given the thickness of the phone, I assume a screen any bigger might make it hard to wrap that thumb around and perform one-handed actions. On the back, you'll find an 8-megapixel camera with autofocus and LED flash, capable of video capture in 1080p. Up front, the Droid 4 has a 1.3-megapixel front-facing camera capable of video capture in 720p. The rear shooter does have some trouble with low light, but on the whole, the Droid 4 camera is excellent. The best part are the software features that come along with Moto's camera app. You can shoot in different modes, scenes, and with different effects. The shutter is incredibly fast for what we're seeing on phones these days. The Droid 4 has a dual-core 1.2 GHz processor running under Android 2.3.5 Gingerbread. This seems to be the same UI on the Razr. Not quite Moto Blur, but not pure Android by any means. These are just initial impressions, so I won't talk too much about performance other than to say that I didn't experience anything out of the ordinary thus far, just the usual Android lag. I know you guys have been waiting for this, so let's just chat it out. The Droid 4 keyboard is the best physical QWERTY I've ever used. It's got non-slick keys that lay virtually flush with the phone, and the keyboard's backlit, which is another plus. I much prefer a soft keyboard, which the Droid 4 has in both regular and swipe flavors, but the Droid 4's physical QWERTY can certainly hang. The keys give a nice tactile feedback, but I do wish that they were a little bit further apart, or at least had a little more of a bump to feel your way around. The sliding mechanism is solid, though I always feel like I have to work a little bit harder to slide the keyboard out than I do to put it back in. Most importantly, the slider is solid as a rock, and I doubt you'll have many issues with durability. The Droid 4 is exclusively available at Verizon Wireless for $199.99 on contract, starting February 10th. I'm Jordan Crook with TechCrunch, and that's it for our impressions of the Droid 4 by Motorola.